It's an attractive little fishing village, and rather successful too in its own right. It's truly fascinating to note the great differences between the Shetland and Orkney Isles. Of course, they all lie to the far north, but other Scots often forget that they are closer to Bergen than Aberdeen. Scalloway was Shetland's capital until around 200 years ago. Today it's still a significant little fishing port. The pier was built in the 1830s, at a time when large quantities of salt cod were being exported from here to Spain. In the heart of the town is Earl Patrick's Castle, built by Earl Patrick Stewart at the beginning of the 17th century. There's good shelter in this harbour. The three islands of Trondra and East and West Burra protect the town from the Atlantic winds. Due to their exposed northerly situation, strong winds can often be a hindrance to daily life in the Shetland Isles. But those winds can also be put to good use. Wind generators like these are located throughout the region. West Mainland has many lochs and pools, but more interestingly, the area is dotted with prehistoric cairns. These are very different in appearance from those found in the Orkney Isles. West of mainland is the island known as Papastour. It's thought to have been inhabited as early as 3000 BC. Research conducted in the 1980s also concluded that Duke Hakon had his residence here in the 13th century, before he became King of Norway. Papastour is a very fertile island. It's said that fishermen can locate the island in a summer mist by the pungent smell of its wild flowers. But the lack of peat contributed to a serious decline in population at one time, so much so that ads were placed in Exchange and Mart, inviting people to come and live on the island. A croft and 5 head of sheep were offered as incentive, and it worked. They came from all over the UK in search of the good life, and Papastour was soon known locally as the Hippie Isle. Impressive stacks and rocks line the coasts. According to the Victorian travel writer John Tudor, its caves are pretty unique too. He noted, "There are caves and caves, but probably none in the British Isles, which excel those this little isle can show in weird, fantastic outline and rich colouring combined." Lerwick, the furthest north of all Britain's capital towns. It was developed in the 17th century by the Dutch, who used it as a base for their fishing activities around Shetland. In 1653, Cromwell tried to impose an English claim to the fishing grounds here. He deployed almost 100 armed vessels north to Lerwick to enforce his claim. And he landed an army of troops to build what is now Fort Charlotte. But the Dutch returned 20 years later, and the French also began to stake their claim. Lerwick became a focus of international wrangling over fishing rights, and indeed, in many ways, it still is. Today, the harbour welcomes all kinds of vessels: ferries, oil tankers, fishing boats, and indeed cruise ships. And since we're in the Shetland Isles, of course there's a broch, or circular stone tower, in the vicinity. This one is known as the Clickaman Broch. The narrow neck of land known as Mavis Grind almost splits mainland in two, with the Atlantic on one side and the North Sea on the other. It's said that there's no finer landscape in the Shetland Isles than that around Hillswick. The headland known as Ness of Hillswick offers particularly splendid views.